Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chinese History Legendary Figure Painting. Today we're talking about the subject of my painting called the Abbess, and she is based on the legendary hero and Shaolin master Ying. According to Chinese folklore, Ying was a daughter of a general of the Ming Dynasty within the imperial court. Growing up in the Forbidden City gave her access to a strong educational foundation, and under the patronage of her father, actually some martial arts education as well. She would practice martial arts religiously, developing her leg strength and balance by training on capsized and upturned logs, and therefore was able to master a lot of the instruction at the time. As was the case for most women in imperial China back then, however, to avoid the domestic prison of marriage, you could continue your education through one of two means. The first was to become basically a courtesan, or the second option was you could enter a monastery or a nunnery. It therefore follows that Ying chose the second option. She continued her training under traditions of the monasteries during that time, as monasteries had large landed estates, regular sources of income, and enjoyed the patronage of many rich or imperial families. It was not uncommon, actually, for monks and therefore even nuns to practice martial arts and even bear arms for protection against potential raids. It's not known or really said when Ying entered the Shaolin Monastery in Henan. It's a legendary cradle of Chinese martial arts, that it is said that she eventually rose to the role of an abbess. At the time, Shaolin Temple was the primary hub for Chen, or as it's now more popularly known as Zen Buddhism, and therefore enjoyed a position of influence and patronage from many emperors for over 1,000 years. It had, as a result, amassed quite a bit of wealth, both imagined and actual, and therefore had become target for rebellions and been ransacked, burned, and destroyed various times. The most popular account of its destruction was during the time that Ying was residing and studying at the temple. During her time there, the Ming Dynasty came to an end, and Ying's family perished under the destructive forces of rebel attacks and the violent transitions that come in between dynastic powers. Under the new Qing government, Shaolin Temple was destroyed under suspicion of anti-Qing activities, and this was accomplished with the help of renegade monks on the inside. Ying herself was said to have retreated to White Crane Temple, a legendary place purported to be located in the Daliang Mountains between Sichuan and Yunnan in southern China. There, she contemplated the challenge of creating a more efficient fighting form that did not rely so much on pure strength and could be quickly taught and applied against other martial arts practiced by the renegade Shaolin monks. The story goes that one day Ying witnessed a white crane and a snake locked in battle. Though the snake would circle the crane and strike with a lot of force, the crane maintained its center, keeping aligned with the snake, and used its wings to deflect the snake's blows while counterattacking with its beak in the same motion. This was enough to give Ying the inspiration she needed to develop a new fighting system. Her first student for this new system was called Wing Chun, a young woman and daughter of a tofu seller who was harassed by a local warlord, and he was trying to force her to marry him. Ying decided to help her out, and under her tutelage, Wing Chun was able to master this new form of martial arts quickly, and therefore challenged the warlord to fight for freedom. She, of course, resoundingly defeats him and goes on able to marry her true love, Liang Bok Chao, who learns the system from his wife and goes on to formally establish a school, naming the school after his wife, Wing Chun. Remnants of the original foundations of Wing Chun are still visible today, though, as with most traditions passed from master to apprentice and students, the form, of course, has changed vastly, either watered down to the basics or combined with other martial arts through innovation. Notwithstanding, some of the most famous students and practitioners include Ip Man, Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, Jackie Chan, and Michelle Yeoh, as well as Steven Seagal and Robert Downey Jr. Mei is credited not only for founding Wing Chun, but also Mei Pai, dragon style, white crane, and five-patter Hung Ga martial arts. These systems apparently bear little resemblance to each other, which could mean that they were created by different people in actuality, or that each reflects a uniqueness in Yingwei's style at the time of her development and personal training. Either way, Yingwei's legacy is one that has inspired some of the greatest minds in martial arts and continues to influence how it is practiced to this day. And so it gave me plenty of material to work with when painting her portrait. I had a lot of fun doing it, so I also hope that you enjoy watching this time-lapse of its creation. Thanks for watching again, and until next time.